Welcome, everyone. My name is Elaine Enríquez, your host. In today's program, Share the Vision, we will be talking with author and mental health expert, Dr. Josiane Apollon. Welcome, Doctor. It's wonderful to have you here in the program today.
Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be with you in your beautiful studio here. And I look forward to this conversation with you.
Yes, I am so excited. We've been talking prior to the program commencing.
Yes.
And these are topics that are very important. And we were talking about our inner selves.
That's right.
And it has to do with mental health.
It does. It does.
Can you share your vision in regards to our conversation today, bringing this important topic?
Sure. So right now, in these challenging times, meaning that there's wars in Ukraine, there's climate change, and we're seeing fires, hurricanes all over the world, and so many people dying, and conflicts in families and in our communities. So the key is to know that we are divine. But that portion of ourselves, of knowing ourselves well, is totally forgotten. And we have to use it now. Now is the time for us to awaken what's inside of us. And what's inside of us is already perfect, but we have to activate our best qualities. And the best qualities that we have is compassion and unconditional love. They serve actually as tools specifically made for our times. And when I see clients in my practice or when I do research with couples, it comes out that everybody is looking really for love, how to be loved. So when you see a family with conflicts or with children or adolescents trying to hurt themselves or in search of themselves, they're really looking for that love inside of themselves. That's always there. But if we have an influence with our environment and with the people that we are surrounded by, and if we don't pay attention, we get really, low vibration. We get to feel really depressed or having anxiety and a lot of different mental health conditions that really affect our inside.
And Dr. Josiane, obviously it affects our organs.
Yes.
In many different ways. It depends what you're going through. God created us in a beautiful way.
Beautiful, perfect way.
But we must understand that certain processes of life that lead us to those sentiments can literally affect our organs. Can you explain how that process actually unveils or it gets to work or function, if that's the proper way to address it?
Yes. So we have to understand that as humans, we are loving humans, but most of the time we think of ourselves just as walking humans and individual, not connected with the rest of humanity. But we are connected with the rest of humanity, not only with our family, our close relationships, but also with the rest of the world, in every part of the world on Mother Earth. And what it is important to know that each one of us has our body, mind, and spirit. This trinity, this triad, is key in understanding ourselves within and also outside, understanding other people that we relate to. So we're going to have within our space, our field, we're going to attract certain type of people who are going to make us feeling a certain way. And when we're not aware that we can actually control and balance and actually clear our organs from carrying heavy negative emotions, then we get overwhelmed and desperate. So it's important to know, for instance, what I do, I practice, and that's what I was talking about earlier, is I practice the sound, the healing sound for each organ. Each organ is going to carry specific emotions, both negative and positive emotions. And these emotions are there not to stay. They can transit. It depends on how our mind is connected with our body and our spirit. So when we are aware that we have inside everything that we need, we don't have to look outside to actually create our reality. So for instance, the lungs, as I was telling you, the lungs carry not only sadness and depression, but also our courage and the sincerity we need in order to have to change, to want to modify or switch the way that we're perceiving or creating our reality. Most of the time, we think that people are doing something to us, or something has happened and we have no power. We fall into victim mode. So what's important is to know that we are co-creating with the divine, with God, that we are at the image and likeness of God, and that Jesus is just like us. We are brothers and sisters. And Jesus was a therapist in a way, a healer, and he was doing all these miracles that seems completely amazing and so far from us because it was 2,000 years ago. But actually, in every one of us, we have the same powers, but they're dormant because we're looking outside instead of looking within to heal us first, to know our powers, and to really develop this compassion and unconditional love that was so much about God and so much about Jesus and all his life and all what he's doing for us now and continue doing for us to remember who we are.
And it's so important that he created us in a way so we can literally help to not fall into these diseases or these types of situations that can affect our health.
Exactly.
How can you explain to us the importance of talking about whatever is going on inside with someone that you can entrust?
Yes.
A doctor like yourself that studies these professions, loves God, understand the Word of God, and you can help them, guide them so they can find the healing through Christ, but also through the knowledge that exists, and be able to connect with the truth and help the healing to take place. A lot of people today are sick.
Yes.
They have different situations going on, and it has a lot to do with their emotional status.
Yes, totally. It's the $1 million question that's so important right now to understand. When we are, at home or dealing with school or work or in different communities and all over the world, what we are struggling with is to know that there is help out there. And why are we struggling so much to find that help is also, we have to remember that for a long time in society, for 300 or I think actually now for more than 500 years, our psyche, our mental, was separate from our body, from our sexuality and from our body. And that separation created a disconnection within ourselves. Trying to understand who we are is being like trying to lift a veil that we have no understanding of how it works and how to do it. And for a long time, so spirituality has been also seen as something that's banished from science. But more and more mental health professionals, just like myself, especially marriage and family therapists, we have been helping and listening to our clients, and they talk about their spirituality. They talk about their challenges, believing or not believing in God, and their struggles in life. And by opening up to us more and more, not only in science, but things are trying to reconnect now better in a way to understand that these dimensions are who we are. Our spirit, body, and mind is always in us. So in order to help somebody who's struggling, so they come not necessarily thinking that the therapist or psychologist or coach is going to help them understand that part. And that's what I am all about, is integration. How do we integrate what God has given us? Bring more peace within ourselves, with our organs, and trying to flush out all these heavy, toxic emotions that we accumulate through our experiences with others and with ourselves. The way that we perceive who we are usually is less than who we are. And understanding that we are the image and likeness of God and Jesus is something that's, whether you are Christian or not, we all have a spirit. We are what we call spiritual beings having human experience. So as a spirit, we are like 80% spirit and 20% our body. And we think we are 80% body, and then maybe 20%, if we're lucky, of spirit. But no, it's a reverse. So we have to acknowledge and really honor and respect our spirit. And when we talk about the spirit of generosity or the spirit of love, it's really about an energy that we feel. Just like when I was speaking with you on the phone, I felt this energy because it is really communicating with us all the time. But we have to pay attention to it because it's also inside our body. So for families, and especially for couples, so within a relationship, an intimate relationship, so each person, each partner is coming with their own individual paradigm, because we are in an individualistic society, nation. It's difficult to think in terms of community, that we are all connected. And that is important to understand, because we are parts of a bigger whole. And that whole makes us act and interact with each other in certain ways.
I understand that you had mentioned early on in the program about people wanting or needing the love that
Yes.
they feel they don't have.
Yes.
How does that affect the organs? And to go a little bit further in your practice, what is your vision for the purpose that you have to help these individuals?
Yes. And that's a great question. My whole mission, maybe I should have started with that, came from actually at the beginning was with my mother, who was fighting to try to get me she didn't want me. She was afraid to have me because she was working. She just arrived in Paris, and then she got pregnant with me, and then she started loving me beyond measures. And that love transferred to me, to my children. And then when I got my third boy, I was making eggs one Sunday, and he said to me, "There's no love in these eggs." And I was surprised, but then it resonated with me because that's all I'm about, is love. So I picture myself that probably I didn't have that love in the eggs. So I started making the eggs again and then gave it to him, and I saw this smile, all this love that he was waiting for me, that I didn't communicate to him through the eggs. He wanted that, and because of him, because of the way he was, I said, you know what, I don't want to stunt his love that is unique and is so amazing, that he says our children talks to us and we don't pay attention. And for me, paying attention and going to get a degree in mental health, it's really trying to understand that maybe I'm a little bit overachiever, but I really wanted to understand what it was about. And then I worked for so many years, more than 12 years, at the Children's Psychiatric Center, formerly called that way. It's now the Institute for Family and for Health and Family Health. And I noticed that children will tell us their truth. And then parents, as parents, we tend to shut off or shut down what they're sending to us because they're telling us what they need, and their needs are mostly about love, being loved, and not getting the attention that they need. And they're going to act out. They're going to act out also to help us because they can see a lot of times that between parents, there's a lot of conflict, discord, and disagreement or misunderstanding. And some parents think that kids don't understand anything, but they do. They do. They are very, very smart. And once what I learned with the children is everything that I've written in my book also based on studying more the parents because they are the tip of the family unit, but for me, they're really at the tip of society. If we change and get parents to love themselves unconditionally and with compassion, we can change the world.
Wow.
And that's what I'm teaching when every time I have a family or an individual, a child, an adolescent that comes to me or a couple, I first start ask them, what's your vision? Because usually they don't think they're coming to just talk about who they are, what works with them. They come to unpack their problems and issues and challenges, and that is going to be delineated through looking at a different lens. So most of the scientists are looking at what's wrong, what's the problem in society. And I'm looking at what's right, what's best in a family, in a couple, in a child, and looking at the system and the system of, okay, I'm looking at the context. So if I have a family, and I have a lot of families who are Latins and for minorities, social and sexual minorities, and they come and I look at their context, and their context could be different, very different from one to the other, but what is the most important is the way they've been lacking love and desiring love. So through their vision, so I work with them developing this vision. Usually they think of themselves very small, not big. But Jesus and everything that He's done is big. Yes. So we have to start thinking big because we're all in connection with the other. And there's something that we call in science, which is the 100 monkey effect. It's an effect that when we take care of ourselves, we actually changing everything around us and miles away. So if we adapt good attitude with love, if we understand the depth of love, it's not just romantic love or the companionate love that we know about. It's that deep compassion. Those are the virtues that we see in wisdom traditions, in many religious beliefs, systems that are taught also with people who don't believe in God.
I believe that this is awakening for everyone who connects, because it's important to value everything that we just discussed about being healthy.
Yes.
In the three aspects, your body, your soul, and your spirit.
Yes.
We're going to discuss more about that strategic way to be able to resolve some of these issues when we come back from this commercial break. So stay tuned. us. And now that we're back, let's further discuss the strategic format or ways that we can bring these health or the healthy part of these individuals to take action and to literally change their lives. Now, this is also part of the book as well.
It is.
Can you give us the title of the book as well?
Sure. It's Compassionate Love in Intimate Relationships. It's the integration process between sexual mass trauma, racism, and resilience. So what I've done, I've went out there in the field and conducted interviews with couples. Because I was thinking, if we have to understand love, let's go straight to couples, because I've been working for so long with the children, and I know that the couples were key elements in a family. So I went and asked them, these questions. And what came out is those 5 strategies for compassionate love. And the first one was to love yourself first. So, but how do you do it? So it's a 3-part process. It's very important to understand that in order to love yourself, you need first to know yourself. Know thyself is in the Bible, is in Egypt. It's been talked about for hundreds of years, but we don't really know ourselves because we're living that divine self, and those parts that we don't like, we're projecting them a lot of times on others. So loving yourself is knowing yourself, forgiving yourself and others, and accepting yourself fully. That's all part of loving yourself. Second strategy is to breaking the chains with the family multi-generational transmission of curse or trauma or drama. And that is in itself, we can stay for a long time to talk about it, but I go in details in the book, and in my practice, I do extend and explain more in details how we do not have to consent to what we receive, like even diabetes, or thinking that the mental health, mental illness is okay for me when my mom or somebody else is sick in the family. So I show how to interrupt the patterns and to accept the love, the divine love, that pure love that is all about our body and spirit and mind. And then, so the third strategy is how to be equally yoked, which means as a couple is being on the same wavelength, or is being joined together with our partner's values at the spirit, mind, body levels. And that also in itself is all a program that is but it's important to understand that when there's imbalances in our spirit or mind, or a misalignment, then it's going to create conflict within ourselves and outside of ourselves with our loved ones. So the fourth strategy is how to find common grounds. And this is about how to see that we are different. You and I are different. A couple, they're different, but they think because they have the compatibility, they should match all the time. It's impossible. What it is important is to see and understand and acknowledge and accept and appreciate the differences between you and me, and between a partners and a family and community and the world, that we have differences, and appreciate them with unconditional love and compassion. And then the fifth strategy is the loving beyond. Is how to use compassionate love in order to go beyond what we're seeing. It's to remember the big picture, the one that's divine, that we are all connected in this human race on earth, to really learn how to love better.
And that's one of the things that Jesus taught us.
Yes, yes. And we're forgetting the main message. And unfortunately, or fortunately in a way, because we learn through the struggles right now, the world is quite challenging, but we're learning now that if we don't love at a deeper way, with compassion, to accept the other one unconditionally, and even the one that maybe some, like I have a teenager right now, and she's talking about the others that are bullying her or going through, conflict with other students. It's also understanding that if you bless them, your intention is pure and will switch the relationship, the energy that you have with them. It's understanding that is our power that we cannot neglect. And that's really reinforcing us as divine humans, really, to see that at the base, we're going to create our reality. We can create another world right now when we are more conscious and aware of the love and the message of Jesus, that it was unconditional love, loving everyone, the poor, the rich, the one with special needs,
Yes.
and many other groups, to bring more harmony and balance on Mother Earth.
Yes, that is very important, to share compassion. And some things we just don't understand fully.
Right.
But we have Jesus, we have God to go to and to
We
help us
do.
through it.
Yes.
And I hope and pray that all the people that connect with this beautiful program, that they can see and understand that their life will change when we take action.
Yes.
I'd like to know if you're going to be able to write more books.
Yes, actually, so this book that I just named, Compassionate Love in Intimate Relationships, is an academic book. It's really for institutions, colleges, and so it's kind of dense in science. So I am actually in the process of writing a kind of manual and easily digestive for the public, for everyone, all over the lay people, in order to know that how do I become love, an unconditional tool of love, and change my actions, my behaviors, my feelings, my emotions, and my thoughts, because I am imbued in unconditional love and compassion. So I'm in the process of sending some proposal to write this book right now.
That is wonderful.
Yes,
And
thank
I know
you.
we have some images of you, and also the book is one of
Yes.
the things that we'll be sharing, so
Okay.
everybody can connect and have the
Yes.
ability to obtain it. And now, you know how the time is when it comes to the programming. There's
Yes.
never enough time.
Never enough time, always short.
Yes, but I'd
Yes.
like for you to give a message
Yes.
to everyone that has tuned in and those that will tune in later on, because the program will remain on social media.
Okay.
And also, if you can share with them where they can obtain the book that you
Yes.
currently have published, and how they can reach you if they would like to meet with you for one of your sessions in your office.
Sure. Okay. So my message is to transform the world with compassionate love, which is unconditional love and compassion, from families to communities all over the world. And the way to reach me is really, so my private office is in Coconut Grove. And it's 2000 South Dixie Highway. And I am if you Google me, Josiane Apollon, Dr. Josiane Apollon, you'll find me through also my YouTube channel, where I have I have French, but I have also English videos of me. And I have, what else? Instagram, that you can find me under Josiane Bonté. Bonté means goodness, and that's my actually maiden name. So it's all I was born in a specific way, and we all are actually. And that's when you come see me, that's what I'm reminding you of your essence, your true nature as a divine human, you know, and to be able to reconnect with what's more essential about us, which is compassion and unconditional love. Just like Jesus' message and when he was walking on this earth, share with everybody.
Yes. And most importantly, if you have any questions, if you need to reach Dr. Josiane, we have for you in our social media outlets information, as well as our website. We also have information there,
Yes.
Doctor,
Yes.
and it's www.ovmradio.com. You can connect with these outlets and you'll be able to get all the necessary information that can take you to connect with Dr. Josiane. It's been a pleasure. It's been
Likewise.
wonderful.
Thank you so much.
You are invited to come back again,
Yes,
and we
and
can
I'll
bring more subjects to light
Yes.
to help us through, especially this time that we're living in this new society
Yes.
that we are actually confronting with different issues and situations that in some cases just brings us down instead of lifting us up.
Yes, and it's all about empowering versus disempowering and shifting our lens. So when you come see me, that's exactly what I do, and that's my passion. I could do it for free, and I do it for free. I take pro bono cases, and I use insurances also, and to really spread the message of love.
And just to let them know that you're not alone.
Yes,
You don't
you're not
have
alone.
to carry this baggage. You don't
Yeah.
have to carry the worry and the anxiety and the
yes.
depression and all those horrible sentiments and emotions that paralyzes you and don't allow you to further reach your goal and your purpose in life. You have a huge purpose. God sent you on this earth because He has wonderful things for you, big things for you.
Yes.
So just take the opportunity to literally meditate on all the things that we've brought to your attention, and hopefully you can channel them and be free from it.
Yes.
But we are here for you. You can reach us, like I said earlier before. We are in Facebook, YouTube, Instagram,
That's
Twitter. Our website, again, www.ovmradio.com, where we have more information for you, especially from Dr. Josiane Apollon. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon on the next Share the Vision. God bless you.